Next, we are moving on to the technical session of the International HR Conference 2015. The session will be chaired by Professor Alan Robertson, CEO of the International Hospitality Academy, who is also the first keynote speaker of First HR Dialogue 2013. Dr. Geeta Tharangani, Senior Lecturer of Department of Human Resource Management, University of Sri Jawadanapura, and Dr. Padmi Jayasekara, Senior Lecturer of Department of Human Resource Management, University of Sri Jawadanapura. You all are welcome on stage to chair the second International HR Conference 2015. The first paper will be presented by Dr. Muhammad Tariq Khan. Title of the paper is Human Resource Development Concept from Narrow Organization-Based to Wide Socio-Economic Perspective.
I am thankful to the organizer of this conference providing me opportunity to present this research paper for which I have come from Pakistan, and I think that I am only speaker, only presenter from Pakistan. No one else have come. And secondly, I would also request you that I am not a good presenter. You would see that I am not a good presenter after a few moments. Therefore, if there is my presentation is not good, no, then please don't mind it. The topic you have heard, human resource development, is an important topic of present time. It is relatively young discipline, but it is an old and well-established field of practice, because it has been used thousands of years for training the soldiers and training the government machinery. Management professionals consider it sub-discipline of HRM. All those managers and those professionals who are belonging to the HRM consider it as a sub-discipline of the HRM. But socio-economists consider it a separate topic, and they have broadened its perspective, and so many other dimensions have been explored by them and inducted by them. So from HRM scholars' viewpoint, HRD is a narrow concept consisting of activities of training and development only and skill building only. Through all these terms themselves have meaning broader and deeper than their usual perceptions. And broader concept, besides these activities, HRD also comprises activities like empowerment, awareness raising, team building, community mobilization and development, organizational development, entrepreneurship development, and human resource planning and policies. Many researchers have broadened the scope and integrated the concept of HRD by looking at it from socioeconomic angle and giving it other dimensions such as human physical development, human financial development, which is not mentioned here unluckily, and human intellectual development, human psychological and emotional development, human social and political development, and human moral and spiritual development. From socioeconomic experts, HRD has become multidisciplinary rather than being primarily confined within the limits of training and development. And in this multidimensional HRD has now called the integrated HRD. Let us define the HRD. There are many definitions of the HRD. HRM professionals have defined it from their own viewpoint, and socioeconomists have defined it from their own viewpoint, from their own angles, by broadening its scope. HRM scholars define it as a set of systematic and planned activities designed by an organization to provide its members with the opportunities to learn necessary skills to meet current and future job demands. This definition has been given by the Simon. And HRD is the process of determining the optimum methods of developing and improving the human resources of the organization, and the systematic improvement of the performance of employees through training, education and development, and leadership for the mutual attainment of organizations and personal goals. This definition has been given by the Smith. Defining HRD, now let us define it from a very broader perspective of the socio-economist. HRD is the process of increasing the knowledge, the skills, and the capacities of all the people in a society. In economic terms, it could be described as the accumulation of human capital and its effective investment in the development of an economy. In the political terms, HRD prepares people for adult participation in the political process, particularly a citizen in the democracy. From the social and cultural point of view, the development of human resource helps to people had fuller and richer lives. Less bound to tradition, in short, the process of HRD unlocks the door of modernization. Dimensions of the HRD in historical perspective, historians, if we see the historical evolution of the field of HRD, then there has been gradual evolution of the HRD from very narrow perspective to a very broader perspective. While HRD is a relatively new term, training the largest component of HRD can be traced back through the evolution of the human race. It is easy to connect logically the origin of HRD to history of humankind and training required to survive or advance. The origin of HRD was suggested to have started in the USA training the advent of the Industrial Revolution in 1800. Industrial Revolution took place almost in 1750 in England, and later on it was transmitted to other European countries and America in 1800s. But some writers argue that the roots of HRD emerged in 1913 when Ford Motor started training its workers on working on assembly line for manufacturing of the vehicles. Evolution of HRD in a historic perspective is continued. The nature and extent of HRD varies from one country to another and is influenced by the economic, political, cultural, labor, market, and educational system of each individual country. The concept of HRD differs from country to country. In some countries, it is still narrow, and in some countries, the culture and many other dimensions have been added to this. Most countries, such as Russia, Germany, and Korea, equate HRD with training and development, and the main focus is on activities related to training. USA scholars have charted the intellectual history and origin of HRD within human development, psychology, and education, and human capital, economic, and management. In the United Kingdom, scholars have highlighted the importance of the culture, leadership, and organizational learning as component of HRD. HRD has gained increasing application as a goal and as a process in the development field. As a goal, it is equated with the development of human capacity and uplift of human aspiration. In terms of process, HRD involves activities related to education, training, empowerment, awareness raising, skill enhancement, team building, community mobilization and development, organizational development, entrepreneurship development, and consultation, and human resource planning and policies. In the Indian concept of India has given a very good concept of the HRD, and luckily, if I'm not wrong, if some Indian are sitting here, they would say that there is a separate ministry for the human resource development at federal level. In the Indian concept of HRD, education and culture constitute the core of strategy. However, it is not education in the narrow sense of schooling, but a broad concept of encompassing health, nutrition, employment, science and technology, quality and special attention to weaker group, education being used as an instrument of pupil development and access to opportunities and facilities in all these areas. HRD from organizational manager viewpoint. With the expansion of the global economy and fast changing evolution of technology and innovation, organizations are facing need for implied learning and development. Knowledge increasingly become a key factor for productivity and currency for competitive success. Understanding the factors of contribution to contribute to organizational learning and the transfer of knowledge to the workplace environment are essential to human resource development. The culture and environment of an organization can influence the type and number of learning related events. Now I'm going to explain the concept from the organizational viewpoint and from socioeconomic viewpoint. Organizations have two types of there are two types of organizational viewpoints. One is narrow one and one is broader one. Organizational narrow concept of HRD is one of the more moral management function which is intended to help people to learn and develop. HRD uses training and development. The emphasis is only on training and development to identify, assure, and help to develop the key competencies and enable individuals to perform current and future jobs. The function of HRD is to provide learning, education, and training to human resource selected and recruited. Most countries such as Russia, Germany, and Korea equate HRD with training and development, and main focus is activities related to the training. Organizational, now let us discuss the organizational broader concept of HRD. HRD encompasses the broad set of activities that improve the performance of the individual and team. In holistic view on human resource development, that HRD must be understood in broad sense, incorporating formal training, self-directed learning, informal and collaborative learning activities. Now, the responsibility of the learning has also been thrust on the learners that they should take part themselves proactively. HRD has extended beyond a narrow concentration on training to include organizational and system-level issues that influence the development of broad-scale sets and abilities. The field of HRD has expanded beyond training and development to include a strong concentration on corporate strategy, individual responsibility for learning, extension into the team learning, incorporation of career development, and emphasis on internal consultancy, organizational learning, and knowledge management, and the nurturing of the intellectual capital of an enterprise. Organizational broader concept. HRD is a process of developing and unleashing expertise for the purpose of improving individual teamwork, process, and organization system performing. Two major realms of practice take place within HRD. One is organizational development, the other is training and development. OD focuses on organizational level and connects with individuals, while training and development focuses on individual and connects with the organization. HRD is only training for operational skills, but also includes behavioral skills, as it ultimately aims to create an enabling culture wherein the capabilities are acquired, sharpened, and used. And this is the point. The behavioral development has also been included beyond training and development. Now let us go. This is the diagram which shows in the green areas. You can see this is the narrow concept of organizational HRD. And in the yellow areas, it is the broader concept of organizational HRD. But in the gray areas, it is the socioeconomic concept of HRD. HRD from socio-economic scholars' viewpoint, in countries such as in Thailand, Singapore, and India, the scope of HRD is seen to be very broad, encompassing activities related to the possibility of developing human resource, physical, emotional, spiritual, and intellectual improvement, as well as improving their technical and productive skills. HRD is extended at one side to developing competencies of human resources by enhancing knowledge, building skills, changing attitudes, and teaching values, and at other side, creation of conditions through public policy, program, and other interventions to help people to apply these competencies for their own and others' benefits and making things happen. HRD improving quality of life of all its people. The function of the HRD is to improve the quality of life of all the people of the country, of the community, and of the group. Besides providing necessary skills to the individual, the concept of HRD deals with many facets of development of individual, including their physical, intellectual, emotional, political, and spiritual aspects. The Haripson and Myers first time gave the definition of the human resource development in 1964 with a very, very broad aspect. Haripson and Myers offered the first definition in 1964. I have already read it in the second slide. HRD from socioeconomic viewpoint has these dimensions. Physical development comes from good nourishment and medical care. If the man is not physically fit and physically developed, he would not or she would not be able to do the work give the good productivity and work for longer hours. Intellectual development comes through the process of education and socialization. Social development involves developing the ability to live as the member of the society or a group and contribute to it, at the same time deriving benefits from it. Political development ensures human dignity through freedom of expression, democratic participation, and an opportunity to influence things that in turn influence the individual's living. Moral and spiritual development is required to bring order, discipline, and peace in the life. Thus, all aspects of development are integral part of HRD. Rao 1965, who is an Indian author and Indian researcher, expressed that for HRD ultimately ultimately what is important is human satisfaction and quality of life. Developing people is the essence of any HRD effort, and it is an important goal of all other development activities, plans, policies, programs, establishment of new structures, mechanisms. All forms of development, economic, technological, ecological, agricultural, industrial, etc., are ultimately meant to serve people in terms of improving their happiness through better quality and standard of life, because development is not just about factories, dams, and roads. Development is basically about people. The goal is the people's material, cultural, and spiritual fulfillment. HRD is an integrated sense, also encompasses healthcare, nutrition, population, policies, and employment. Now, this is the detail of all those dimensions. There are many dimensions: the physical development, intellectual development, emotional development, political development, social development, economic development, and spiritual development. And briefly, I will discuss. If you are suffering from the time shortage, then I may cater. Otherwise, if you have not time shortage, then I may explain these. What is the chair? It would take almost 5 to 6 minutes more.
5 minutes.
5 to 6 are almost time more. Thank you very much. The first dimension of the human resource development from socioeconomic aspects is economic financial development. Because economic and financial development of human resources is very important, because if someone is not financially sound, if not financially developed, have no money with him or her, then they would not be able to take the care of their body. They would not be able to purchase good food, to purchase good medicine for their when they are ill. Therefore, when people are getting good income, they will be economically developed and healthy and well nourished and medicated by purchasing potent diet, medicines, and leading hygienic life. When people would be well nourished, healthy, and free from diseases, they would be a developed human resource. People will be unsatisfied and lose motivation if not properly paid. Economic financial development, again, effective family labor, which many scientists have explained their researches that effective family labor, which is a function of actual labor and per capita daily calories intake, is a significant input in the production process. Researchers have told that if workers are malnourished, then their productivity would be they would not be able to provide good productivity. Physical development, people cannot function and make things happen unless they are physically well developed, healthy, and free from diseases. Thus proper potent food and freedom from diseases become important. People would be physically fit when they are well nourished and healthy and motivated, when they enjoy better quality and standard of life. This would be achieved when they would receive proper share in the production or development in the form of increased income or financial benefits comfortable working condition, proper working hours, holidays for leisure, incremental facilities, and self-respect. Productivity is determined by the number of hours of the work and intensity, and if someone is ill or not physically fit, then he/she would not be able to offer good productivity. Therefore, I skip this slide. These are giving statistic that if someone is healthy and someone is free from diseases, then they would provide good productivity. Third and fourth item was intellectual and socio-cultural development. According to the national concept of HRD, this national concept of HRD has been given by the Indian researchers. It is not just about factories, dams, and roads. Development is basically about people. The goal is the people's material, cultural, and spiritual fulfillment. Jeshi expressed that HRD has gained increasing application as a goal and as a process in the development field. As a goal, it is equated with the development of human capacity and upliftment of the human aspiration. In terms of process, HRD involves activities related to education, training, empowerment, awareness raising, skill enhancement, team building, community mobilization and development, organizational development, entrepreneurship development, sensitization and concentration, human resource planning, and policies. HRD also includes behavioral skills. These are very much important as it ultimately aims to create an enabling culture wherein the capabilities are acquired, sharpened, and used. HRD must be understood in broad sense and incorporating formal training, self-directing learning, informal and collaborative learning activities. And fifth one is psychological development, which is emotional and motivational development, and it is the particularly area of the HR managers. The success of the organization depends on effective performance of people occupying various roles in organizational structure, adopting a new approach of management to boost organization performance and high quality of services, as well as maintaining high level of motivation is priority to managers. One of the techniques used by organization and that has attracted great attention from scholars and practitioners is employee empowerment. The dimensions of the empowerment differently affect workers' intrinsic task motivation. When employees are involved, they are empowered, and when they feel empowered, they are motivated. A key persuasion of empowerment theory is that empowered individuals are group should perform better than those relatively less empowered. There is an implicit assumption of universality of the empowerment-performance relation. Empowerment effects on performance may not be direct, but may operate through motivation, ability, and opportunity to perform. Moral and spiritual. The last item is moral and spiritual development. Moral and spiritual development is required to bring order, discipline, and peace in the life. Thus, all aspects of development are integral part of HRD. This is the diagram. You can see in the diagram that here in the right side, HR, which is the human resource development from human resource managers. The only HRD area is training and development. Other functions of HRM are HR planning, but these are the HRM functions. The HRD function is only training and development, whereas socioeconomist has broadened the scope and brought many other dimensions like HR physical development, HR emotional development, HR intellectual development, HR political development, HR spiritual development. And this last slide, here you can see that all these developments are going through the financial and economic development. If someone is not financially and economically developed, not properly paid, then he or she would not be able to purchase good food and good nourishment. And if he or she is not financially sound, he or she would not definitely be socially developed or politically developed. Thank you very much for listening me patiently.
Okay. Dr. Tariq Khan, thank you very much for coming all the way from Pakistan today to deliver your paper for us, and your first visit to Sri Lanka, I believe, also. So we certainly welcome you here and thank you very much and hope you enjoy your stay in Sri Lanka. Dr. Tariq Khan presented a very interesting paper on HRD and looked at the concept from different perspectives and different levels. I'll ask Dr. Geeta to speak to us a little bit about her comments on the HRD paper.
Thank you, Professor. Good afternoon to all of you. First, I would like to congratulate Dr. Khan for your presentation. As Dr. Khan correctly mentioned, HRD is relatively young field and trying to emerge as a profession. So therefore, there is a need to identify its philosophy, boundaries, scope, and purposes and the mission. In this sense, your research is add value to existing literature on human resource development, and in this research, you made a very good attempt to discuss the meaning of HRD in narrow perspective and in broader perspective. In other words, HRD in individual perspective, organizational perspective, and national level perspective. And finally, you provide a model to explain the scope of HRD. It is very good, and I think it adds value to the relatively young field of HRD. But I feel that based on your discussion, if you provide a definition on HRD, which reflecting what you have discussed, might be very good for future development of HRD. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Geeta. Dr. Padmini?
Yes, Dr. Mohammed. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for coming here to share your research thought with such an academic and professional gathering here. Secondly, actually, it was so pleased to hear a presentation on such an advanced HRD model, which matched to discuss HRD requirements, especially in Asian context. So you have incorporated so many aspects to your model. So however, if you ready to develop this research idea further up to research chapter or as an article to publish in international journal article, hope you may more concerned about the consistency of the included variables in your self-constructed diagrams. 3 diagrams are included here, as well as the possibility of the interrelationship between, for an example, political development and its interrelationship with many other aspects. Because personally I believe that political development aspect is more unique and very critical, especially in this in our Asian socio-economic context. It may be a very critical determinants of developing many other aspects. So thank you very much again. And